Welcome back, guys, to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. As you know, guys, we have a collaboration with Up and Adam and Down with Jason, and we fluctuate from channel to channel, recapping it with them. But this is your opportunity to call in and share your thoughts on last night's episode of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I, of course, have more thoughts, and I took some notes and I watched it multiple times. Once we get to 100 likes, I will be posting the call in link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts. And of course, more hot topics have spilled earlier today. If you missed it, we were talking about Cynthia Bailey quitting. Okay, quitting, firing, being let go, whatever you want to call it. Be sure to check out that report earlier. And we have some more Real Housewives of Atlanta news to get into. We will get into that later. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Shout out to my mods that are in the building, our team and Team Kempire and Royal Court members that are also in the building. I appreciate you all being here for this Salt Lake City recap. So Salt Lake City, I know it's a new city, a part of this failing franchise. We have to say failing at this point because Roni, RHOA, the ratings have been slipping. The only ones that are really they canceled Dallas. It's not good. Beverly Hills is doing well, but they're doing well because of a scandal. They might have a one more good season before those ratings start slipping too. Just saying. Let's be real. Salt Lake City, though, is new, and they have their own Erica Jane, kind of, sort of, sort of. Look, kind of, sort of. But as always, we're going to remind you, Jen Shah is the Tom Girardi in this situation. Jen Shah is. Guys, also, I gave you an update on the YouTube channel where we're talking about Kelly Price. Kelly Price did an exclusive interview with TMZ yesterday. So be sure to check that out on the channel. And some updates between Debrat and Nikki Gilbert of Brownstone getting into it. Check that out. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Let's get into this recap. Heather. Okay. Heather and I are going to probably have a love-hate relationship this season just because I don't like how far up she is Jen's butt already. You just got over your issues with her, but you're like her bestie again. Look, I have best friends that where, yeah, you might get into some fights, but none of these people have said the things that Jen Shah has said and liked on her social media. But the consistent trend is Jen Shah. I'm not in charge of my social media. So whoever's in charge of your social media, I hope you've let them go. That should be everyone's next question. Okay, so if you're not in charge of it, who is it? Is it Stewart? Is it the assistant number 2? Because one of them you need to let go. One of them you need to let go. Well, Stewart's no longer working with her because, federally mandated by the courts. Angela says, Jen Shah is so exhausting. And she is a narcissist. At no time does Jen Shah take ownership for doing anything. She's like these tweets. I don't believe she might have someone that handles her social media, but I don't believe they're the ones liking these tweets. I don't believe it. And she refused to take any ownership to it. She refuses to be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I will never do that again because she probably will do it again. She's terrible on social media. She's terrible. Danny says Heather has a low self-esteem. It's just unattractive. It really is because Heather, and a lot of you will agree with this, because Heather really was a fan favorite last season. She was a fan favorite last season. And the way that she's just riding for Jen, that's not the person you want to ride with. If anything, in this whole Erica versus Jen Shah situation, I can understand people riding with Erica more because she is not necessarily the one who committed the crimes. But here, keep in mind, Jen Shah is being accused of committing the crimes. Her situation is criminal. Her situation has probably more victims. Because they're saying like hundreds to thousands, possibly, of elderly people. I know there's no orphans in this particular situation, but just as bad. Reminder, guys. Shout out to everyone that's got their coldest water bottle. If you haven't gotten your coldest water bottle yet, get your coldest water bottle today. Use the discount code KEMP10 and you'll get 10% off. Uh, yeah. Jen Shaw. We will dive into Jen Shaw, but we get to see Heather at the top of the episode call and FaceTime with Whitney. We have to remember, yes, they're cousins, but they only found out they were cousins recently. So there is this sort of friendship, almost cousinly vibe that we get from them, but I don't necessarily believe it's the family deep rootedness. Yeah, I used to really like Heather. I think we're gonna change our opinions of Heather this season. There are some moments in this episode that I truly enjoy Heather. I do believe when she goes to Beauty Lab, she really is the boss there, unlike Mia in Potomac. I do believe Mia's the boss, but when she gave us that tour, it was like, are you just pretending like you're at work? At Beauty Lab, I feel like Heather really is working. Heather really is working. And Heather has built a business, a multi-million dollar business. She's expanding. She's expanding her business. I'm proud of Heather. I just don't like what I'm seeing Heather, Jen Shaw is not the person you want to align yourself with. And the things that Heather said on Watch What Happens Live, it's like Heather, I think just Heather doesn't know what to say. So she needs good PR. Someone needs to help her out. Uh-oh, Ashley says, Heather in the season 2 Housewives curse? Question mark. I hope not. I hope not. I do like Heather because even in this episode, we get to see Heather and her daughters, and I like how she handles her daughters and how she's raising her daughters. So we shall see. We shall see. Jen and Lisa go ski biking. And according to Down with Jason, ski biking is something, if you don't really know how to ski, that's what you do. So that is what I will be doing when I go skiing. Because first of all, it looked like a lot of fun. I really do wish Heather was there because Heather really is the skier, the active one. I think that's part of the reason why people love Heather as much too, is because we love that side of her too. We love the fact she went skiing and she drops by Meredith after she finishes skiing. She didn't even change, nothing. So I wish we could have seen Heather do some ski biking, but if ski biking is the amateur skiing, she probably wouldn't have been down for that anyway. So Jen and Lisa, they're having this budding friendship because Lisa Barlow, sidebar, my friend says that she can't find the Vita tequila anywhere either. And she's looked and she's good at researching. Susie says, Heather reminds me of Dana Wilkie from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills sunglasses. $25,000 sunglasses. That's all I remember of Dana Wilkie. That's all I remember. I don't remember any. How long was she even on? She was on a season, right? Um, Miss T says Heather has a huge fun streak. That's great to see. Me too. I like that about Heather too, and that's why I'm hoping this whole alignment that she has with Jen doesn't taint her. Girl, you got real businesses to worry about. You got real businesses to worry about. Trudy says Meredith was unhinged. Can we talk about those Blazers? Equals, ugh. Look, we're going to talk about Meredith because Meredith, I honestly feel like she's using this situation with Brooks, and I do agree with her. Jen Shaw's liking and comments about Brooks, like pick on someone your own size, pick on someone your own age. That's unnecessary. No matter if you believe that Brooks was gay or not, he hasn't self-identified. It doesn't matter what you thought. She's still an older woman, and that was at one point her friend. Just saying. Look, Brooks is not my favorite. Trust and believe. He's not my favorite. You know who my favorite is, right? Jenny's daughter. Yes. Jenny's kids. Jenny's kids. Jenny so far I'm liking. I'm liking her vibe. We will get to Jenny in a second. So one of the things we get a lot of foreshadowing in this season. Remember at the first episode, Jen says, "I haven't gone to jail yet." This episode, she has to get the ladies' information for this whole ice fishing, exhibition. So I guess she needs to know their height and weight and things like that. She's like, "Oh, I'm not going to steal your identity." Awkward. Awkward. TH says Jenny's kids are amazing. They really are. They're smart. They're funny. They seem well rounded. At one point, one of her sons, I don't remember, what's that Titran? Titran? I can't remember his name. Sorry. I know there's Atlas. I can't remember. Carlton. I can't remember. Look, they're new to the show. This is only episode 3. Okay. We will get the names down at some point. We will get the names down at some point. Susie says, what was that about Brooks was not nice, but Brooks talks ish about all the women too. That's true too. And a lot of people also argue and say, Meredith, you put him up on this public platform. Doesn't make it right what people are saying about his sexuality, but he did make a comment about her vaginal area. Okay. Storm says Jeannie is the MVP of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She might be. I don't want to say that too soon, though. I don't want to say that too soon. I feel like it might be too soon to say that about Jenny. We're gonna get to Jenny in a second because I have a bone to pick with Butterface. Yep, that's exactly what I'm gonna call him all season. First off, because that's what she called him when she first met him, and based on what transpired this episode. Anyways, so Jen wants to steal their identity. Can we talk about Mary Cosby? Guys, you're just joining us. This is our weekly Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap here on the channel. Mary Cosby. Can I say I'm kind of liking her? At least this episode. I don't know about the cult. I didn't like the audio that I heard where she was calling her congregation cheap, allegedly. But I'm enjoying her. At least this episode, she made me laugh a couple of times. Her lunch with her son's awkward. He's awkward, right? I mean, I'm being nice, but he's awkward. She actually seems normal around him. Like she seems like a mom around him. So it's sort of like, she wants him to go to the military. Mind you, last week or the previous week, she was yelling at the guy for praying too loudly and emphatically. This week, she's telling her son to pray louder. No one could ever pray right with Mary Cosby. Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to everyone that sent in the super chat. I mean, every day you guys are sending in something, and I appreciate it. As you guys can see backstage, we are making all kinds of changes, sound changes, all kinds of things like that. We're testing things out because of everything that you guys have done, not just sending in super chats, but supporting the channel by watching, sharing, being active. That helps the channel. So thank you guys so much. Melinda says, Heather's need to be Jen's friend is a little scary, like Stockholm syndrome type of scary. I was kind of feeling that way too. It's weird. It makes me concerned for Heather. It makes me be very concerned for Heather. I just hope she wakes up. Yes, Muriel says Mary is kooky. She's so kooky. I agree, but I like it. I like it until we start talking about the cults. Allegedly, I guess we're going to see cult members, former cult members, come on the show. I enjoyed her conversation with her son, but why did she say he might have to drown a little bit in the military? Anyone else caught that? I completely forgot to mention that this morning when I was talking about this with Up and Adam and Jason. I just said to him, she said he might have to drown a little bit in the military. Obviously, I can see what she means about him going in the military. I think he might come out a little bit different. He seems a little, I don't know what the right word is. You guys will have the words in the chat. She might have the right words in the chat. He might need a little military or something. Maybe go away to college or something. I'm not sure what exactly he needs, but that might help him. And he's so funny around his mom. He's so funny around his mom. But I have to say, I enjoyed the conversation. She said he might have to drown a little bit. Drown a little bit? Shy. Okay. Okay. Really? Shy, sheltered, soft, cuddled. Maybe sheltered. He's lacking structure and drive. Well, we could definitely see that he's definitely lacking drive. He's definitely lacking drive. Definitely, definitely, definitely. There's something there, but I find his interaction with Mary entertaining because Mary is so extra. And the whole fact that she's telling him about his table manners and she's chewing with her mouth open, I was like, ooh. Jason mentioned that earlier today, and then I rewatched the episode and I was like, oh yeah, like Mary. But that's not the only awkward thing Mary did this week on this week's episode. Claire says spoilt. Susie says he doesn't seem motivated to go to college away from home, and maybe that's why she wants to send him off to military school. He might need to go to military school. Okay, all right. But that whole he may have to drown a little bit. I don't know why I'm the. Am I the only one that thought that was hilarious? Maybe I shouldn't find that hilarious. Thank you, Donovan, for the flowers. Appreciate you guys supporting on TikTok. TikTok, we are live on multiple platforms, including Twitter, Twitch. Hey, Twitter and Twitch. We're live on the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. And we're live, of course, here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you get daily and consistent content. Guys, if you missed any of the lives that we did today, this is my third live of the day, right? Yeah. Wait a second. No. Yeah, it is my third live. I can't keep up, y'all. And I put out other pre-records. So be sure to check that out as well. Shout out to our new members. Susie Q, thank you so much for the super chat. Susie says, talking about someone's child sexuality is never okay. Whether Jen Shah is running her own accounts or not, it's her name. Beyond offensive. It's true. And look, I don't think that's an excuse anymore, Jen. Even if you are not running the accounts, it's your name and it's wrong. So that shouldn't be your excuse. You should be like, I spoke to the people that did that. I told them that was incorrect. They no longer work for me. Because she uses that excuse with Heather. She uses that excuse with Meredith. If anything, when Heather heard her use that excuse with Meredith, she should have rolled her eyes and be like, I can't with this girl. I can't be friends with this woman. I could never be friends with Jen Shah. She is a liar, allegedly. I couldn't. Who is running these accounts for Jen? Stewart or the other assistant? I can't remember his name, but allegedly filming doesn't want him, Bravo doesn't want him on the set. Excuse me. Aaliyah says Ramona and Mary give me some of the same energy. Really? I got to think about that. In some ways, especially when they go to 7-Eleven. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Theo says, Brooks is not a 22-year-old child. He's a man. The infantilization, there we go, is weird. Well, she did say that he was an adult. I literally just re-listened to that particular last scene. Storm says, which assistant? I know. Well, Stewart, the one that was also charged in this recent arrest. I wonder if he's the one. I honestly, I believe it's Jen. I believe Jen is the one liking. I think we all can agree that Jen is the one liking these tweets and these Instagram posts. Hold on. Thanks, Claire. Hi, Kemper. Hi, Diana. Hi, everyone. UK watching here. Sending love back to you, Claire. Thank you so much for being here. Kate says, I used to teach 22-year-olds in college, and they were kind of childlike between a child and an adult. That is important. If we can remember being 22 years old, you're still in college. You're still probably living at home or in a dorm. I forgot what the statistic is. You're still sort of stunted from adulthood if you're in college. Not a large group of people go to college. I don't know what the percentage is now. When I went to college, they were saying only like 20% of the population went to college. And then you really are stunted. Your growth is stunted because you're sort of moving from high school and you're still in school. You're not really paying your own bill. Not me. I moved out at 18. Had my own apartment with a roommate. Never again will I do that. But with that being said, so I got a little bit probably more growth than probably, someone that lived in a dorm, because even when you live in a dorm, you're being sheltered, It's different. It's different. So I think that is an important thing to note. Yes, he might be over 18, but we see with Robert Jr. He's 18 years old. That's not an adult. Oh my goodness, I wouldn't want to say anything bad about Robert Jr. because I don't want. We also have to remember the 18 to 25, you're still very sensitive. So saying stuff like that online, kids are very kids. First of all, kids alone can be cruel. Never mind this woman, Jen Shaw. We've seen Jen Shaw be cruel to Meredith. Ida says 25 brain is fully developed. Well, see, he's still developing. He's only 20, he's 21 at this point. I think he's 22 now. Susie says, I have a 23 and 21-year-old boys living together in a house near university 10 miles from us. We still need to check on them. Oh, but at least they have each other. I think that's great. I think that's great. But they're still kids. They're still learning stuff at that age. They're still learning stuff. And not look, not everyone can be as responsible as me at 20. At 18 when I moved out. Now that I think about it and I see someone like Robert Jr., I can't imagine him moving out on his own at 18. I literally just turned 18 when I moved out. Just turned 18 when I moved out. And I've been out on my own ever since. Ebony says, I'm 40 years old. Ebony, what is your sign? That will probably tell us a lot. Hey, Bernice. Bernice says her son is timid because Mary has sheltered him from life. Then you want him to go out and be a part of life. That's true. So here we're going to blame the parents. I was always big on saying, especially when I see friends or people my age just act immature or just do things. I always say, your mother failed you. As a joke. I don't really necessarily mean because at some point you got to grow up and take it, for yourself. MS says I moved out at 17. I mean, I technically almost was 17. I literally turned 18 when I moved out. Tacky Toy, what's going on, Tacky Toy? I haven't seen that name in so long. Robert Jr. is subdued to accommodate Mary's eccentricity. That's a good point. Thank you, Jessica, so much for the super chat. Jessica says it doesn't matter your age. You don't out anyone. Good point. Or assume anything about gender or sexuality, especially these days. We know better. But Jen Shaw doesn't know better. Jen Shaw doesn't know better. Ebony says Libra. Oh, see, this is why we got to do a full chart. Carrie Adams says, I am 63 and forgot how to be. Wait, and forgot how to be sensitive? Logan says, how was Mary acting up yesterday? She was acting a whole. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed her. Besides the pudding, I could have did without the pudding. I didn't love that because I rewatched it and I was like, wait, did Mary Cosby really poot? Did she really poot on national television? She could barely get out full sentences. Before we get into that part, let's talk about Jenny. Jenny, the good Jen. The good Jen. Jenny and her family. Love her family. They're doing a science experiment. I love her daughter. Her daughter continuously makes me laugh. She's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Honestly, I enjoy her more than when we were introduced to Brooks. Something about Brooks's energy, and a lot of you have said the same thing. You just didn't gravitate to it. In the beginning, I enjoyed Brooks. I said, you know what, Brooks was sassy. He made Meredith interesting. Meredith still is not interesting, and I honestly think that she's leaning into this story for a storyline. Because what else would she be talking about? Her fashions? Barry Cosby shaded those. Oh, Kate said, who said that this morning? I think that was either Adam or someone in the I can't remember. Jenny's daughter could have her own YouTube channel. She probably does. We probably just don't know about it yet. Her mom probably doesn't know about it. Here's the thing. Jenny, I think you're great. As I think Storm said, you are probably the MVP so far this season of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But your husband, Butterface, Jenny revealed in this episode that she had 9 miscarriages and 3 C-section 3 C-sections. That's what she revealed in this episode. 9 miscarriages. That's not that I wonder if that was her attempt at trying to please her husband. But if you guys rewatch it, this is part of the reason why I rewatch these episodes, because I really want to know what we're talking about. She was angry talking to him about it. She's like, "You are a doctor. You know, first of all, that her doctor already told them that her having another kid would be risking her life. And she had 9 miscarriages. They have 3 healthy kids. Yes, we know. We learned last episode that it's a part of their culture. The bigger the family, the bigger the wealth, the bigger the prestige in their culture, but not at the expense of your wife. Not at the expense of your wife. I wonder how old Jenny is too, because now there's that other element. She's older, trying to have a baby. We see in the trailer he wants to have a sister wife. I thought he was joking, but based on what we're seeing so far, I don't think he was joking about having a sister wife. Catherine says, "Geez, no more babies, my dude." She's 47. Yeah, 47. He wants her to have more babies. But I also think it's not even just about the physical part of it. Oh, 45. I see a lot of people saying 45. Somewhere in her 40s. Either way, after a certain point in your 30s, it becomes more and more difficult for a woman to have children. She's already had 3 kids. She revealed in this episode that she had 9 miscarriages. 9. First of all, the trauma from having a miscarriage, never mind 9. And when she's saying to him, "I don't want any more kids," she's very serious about it. We've seen her get serious a couple times already in this episode, but she was very serious about it. And the fact that he's not taking that into account, and he's a doctor, I just didn't like that. I didn't like that. I love the family as a whole, but Butterface can go. Not can go, but you know what I mean. Like, that is ridiculous. That's going to be the storyline, that he's going to keep asking for children, when she's clearly saying to him, "I do not want to risk my life so that you can have another kid." How are you going to feel, Butterface, if she has your kid and she ends up dying because of it? Come on. Marsha said, "That is so sad about Jenny." Yeah, I didn't like that scene. And when I watched it again, I was like, "Oh wow, she really is like emphatic. Like she does not hold back, Jenny." Like, I believe that this is not simply a storyline for her. I believe that he really does want to have more kids. And because there was no faking it when she was talking about, "I don't want any more kids." You have 3 healthy, beautiful kids with great personalities, and a son that's cleaning up the counter. Someone tweeted that, "Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a Real Housewives kid clean up after they've made a mess." I loved it. I loved it because they look. Some of you were saying because they raised right. Yes, guys, let's get to 100 likes. We have over 200 and something people watching. Let's get to 100 likes. I'll drop the call in link once we get there. Matter of fact, I need to even open. I don't even know where we're at with the likes. Guys, where are we at with the likes on YouTube? Let me know. That way I could drop the call in link once we get to 100. You guys will let me know in the chat. Lo says they was cleaning hard too. You can tell she is raising those kids well. They're smart. They're well behaved. You know, oh, we're at 83. Let's get to 100 likes. Come on, y'all. Y'all know y'all love what you're watching. You wouldn't be here if you were, if you didn't. All right. Let me sit on it. Someone said 70. I'm gonna need y'all to get these likes numbers together, please. 98. See, all right. See how quickly we did that. Shout out to you guys. If you're just joining us, this is our weekly Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. We also did a collab earlier today on Down with Jason's channel, where we collab every week with Down with Jason, of course, Up with Adam, where we recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Be sure to check that one out as well. But this is your opportunity to call in and share your thoughts on this episode. So before I drop the call in link, thank you guys. We're over 100 and something likes. I'll drop the call link in just a second. Heather and her kids. Every time I see Heather and her kids and she has these conversations with them, I'm always moved. I think what I like about Heather is that she allows her daughters space to really express themselves, and I can really appreciate that. With that being said, um, I like the fact that one of her daughters is like she's never going back to the church. The youngest daughter is like, I want to go back to the church. And I don't think that she was feeling pressure to do that. I think that she really is like, I saw benefits to it. And according to Heather, they all, including her kids, grew up very Mormon and very in like the strict Mormon. So I like the fact that she said to her daughter, if you want to go back, I will go back with you. Even though people are probably going to be judging Heather because of the life that she's leading now as a divorced Mormon that likes meatballs. Storm says, wealthy housewife with a husband, kids, intelligence, entrepreneurial. Jenny, they need to do that with the other franchises that are slacking. Yeah, they got gold with Jenny, but the rumor on the street was originally Jenny was just going to be a friend of, but because Jen Shah got arrested and she wasn't able to film as much, that's part of the reason why Jenny was upgraded to a full-time housewife. And that probably is also why we're not getting a lot of Jenny in the beginning. We probably will start getting more Jenny towards after the arrest. Just saying. Lo says, or LO, I think. I love how Heather loves on and uplifts her daughter. Me too. It's like one of my favorite. Heather has a lot of really great things. The only thing that making me look at Heather with the side eye is the relationship with Jen. As my mother always used to say, people are going to judge you with the friends that you keep. So we're judging you, Heather. But we still love you at the same time. Um, Boxster Girl says, I really, really like Heather lets her children make up their own minds and supports whatever decision her children make. I'm glad that we're getting to see more of that this episode. Let me take a sip, y'all. Sorry. Like, as always, don't forget you can get your own coldest water bottle. Ooh, I'm going way too close. The light. Coldest water bottle where you can keep your water cold for 36 plus hours. They come in multiple sizes. Get 10% off with the discount code KEMP10. Um, and shout out to everyone's been, you guys have been, they're going to be out of stock the way y'all have been buying. I appreciate the support. But trust and believe, once you get your water bottle, you're going to love it. And so many of you have been texting me your water bottles. I love seeing it. Keep on texting. Matter of fact, let me put it in the texting community here. Danny says, yes, all the Caribbean mothers say that. It's true. Logan says, don't chase after any relationship, friendship, or romantic wise. I agree. See, Susie says she loves her water bottle. Disco Superfly says, I really like Heather. I just don't understand her relationship with Jen. None of us do. It doesn't make sense. It's a blind spot for her, I guess. I don't know why. Especially what we know about Jen. Last season, I was kind of like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing them friends again, but it's just toxic. And Jen doesn't take any ownership for anything. She doesn't take ownership for anything. All right, I'm gonna drop the call in link. I forgot to do that. Data, and my mother's Jamaican. They definitely do. My Jamaican mother was famous for saying that. It must be something in the water in Jamaica. That's what they say to the children. All right. Let me drop the call in link, guys, so you can call in and share your thoughts on this latest episode. Hold on. Let me just copy this. And we will be doing the timer so we can get through some of these callers. Let me weigh in. Okay. So, Mary, I didn't realize that Mary, Cosby, and Brooks had such a close relationship. Did anyone know? I was like, wow, I did not realize. And it looks like a genuine close relationship between Mary and Brooks. Meredith holds this fashion party. I barely paid attention to the fashions, but when the producers asked Mary what she thought of Meredith's fashions, as Mary looks like a fashion mess in her confessional, she shaded her. I was like, huh. But I have to give it to Mary. She made the most sense when talking about how Meredith should handle the whole Jen situation. It made complete sense. I was like, oh, wow, every once in a while. But then, of course, the moment she makes sense, she passes gas. She passes gas. El Michelle says they bonded over their dislike of Jen, apparently. But I thought that her and Jen, by the end of the reunion last year, were in a better place. That's what I thought. I just didn't understand the pooted. I didn't expect the pooted situation. I didn't expect that. But it was a sweet moment. Again, I honestly believe that Meredith is going to use this Jen Shah situation as her storyline. Because even the awkward conversation FaceTime that she had with Seth, I was like, why are they pretending? This doesn't feel authentic. And Meredith, I get where Meredith is coming from when it comes to her family, but her engaging, because I'm sure she probably was like how everyone's like, oh, here goes Meredith disengaging. I'm just like, okay. Her blowing up, you could see some of these housewives that have watched the show way too many years. Whitney on Watch What Happens Live says that she's been watching for years. She's been watching for years. Speaking of Whitney, so Whitney said that she believed that Jen Shah had a sugar daddy. I never thought that Jen Shah had a sugar daddy. I don't know what I thought how Jen made her money, to be honest with you. I was just confused. Well, Jen Shah took to her social media and made it a race thing. She made it a race thing. And here, I think a lot of people, especially Black women, have called Jen Shah out for her appropriation of Black culture and her trying to use her being brown as a reason to use that against these white women on the show. I'm going to let y'all weigh in on that. Bernice is backstage. Bernice, I'm going to bring you up. Just give me 1 second. Let's make sure this is good. Bernice, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I looked at it before you came on, and let me put it this way. When I was growing up and kids was around adults, and adults got in conversations that kids shouldn't hear, you was told to leave the room.
Mm.
And if you commented, you was told to stay out of grown folks' business. You a child.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brooks is an adult. First season. He's 21. He made comments, jabs, and everything else, like any other housewife that's on the show. But when people commented on what he said, all of a sudden he turns back into a child.
Mm.
You can't be a child and be grown at the same time. It's oxymoron. It don't go together.
Yes.
So so Meredith is gonna run this until she can't run it no more. Because Meredith doesn't have a personality. That's a deflect from her marriage that is not non-existent. Because hubby's in Mississippi now. She complained about Ohio. You know good and damn well she not finna move on damn Mississippi. So that should deflect on that because she gonna run. I'm sorry, Meredith came there with an agenda to piss Jen off, make her get upset for Jen to go like Yosemite Sound from 1 to 1,000, and Jen she kept her cool. And I give her props. She has learned. She said, "Wait a minute." She felt the energy from Meredith, like she's not here to listen and she's not here to talk. She's here to explode. So I'm not gonna be the one to explode this day. I'll let her do it. And she did it.
Yeah.
She did it completely. So she gonna be running this all season. And like, no, what tweets you like and stuff like that for, and not outing Brooks. Stevie Wonder can see that Brooks is gay. I'm sorry.
Well, he doesn't identify as gay, though,
Eh,
Bernice.
if he doesn't identify, well then let it know. You're Um, you don't identify as male or female. You just Brooks. Say that.
Well, we also have to remember sexual identity and sexuality are different. Gender identity, I should say.
Yes. So, but don't treat him like all of a sudden he done turned into 10-year-old and Mama Bear got to protect him from everybody else. No.
So do you think
Even
Meredith is really just using this as a storyline for herself?
yes, she is using it as a storyline. Yes, because even with the scene with Mary. Okay, let me get my words right for Mary. Okay, we have all had. My mother was paranoid schizophrenic. I have people who have been diagnosed as bipolar in my family also. So I know all the signs of mental illness. Looking at Mary's house. Good Lord. Okay. She's a hoarder. Her it doesn't make any sense. Everything clash with each other. Don't nothing match. You got money and you saw pretty things and like it's more expensive, so you got it. And you threw it in your house. There's no, as in feng shui, it doesn't flow.
No.
It's just like it's like a hurricane that came together and like boom, it's there. And for you to even say, well, when I talk about Jen, I just put it. Really?
I didn't understand that. What
I
was
didn't
your
understand.
reaction when she did that?
What was you get flatulent when you hear Jen? Boy, when you start talking about Jen, so you putting Jen down, and I don't like this when you the only two black women on the dang show and y'all going at each other. Really? I need Jen is Jen and Mary is Mary, but y'all got to have some common ground. And her son, he just I got to be careful with the words for him because his mother has sheltered him so much he don't know how to function.
Mm.
You know, a lot of
to the military though.
Yeah, a lot of parents, what they do is your childhood growing up poor in the 70s made me appreciate now. And a lot of parents who like, my kid ain't gonna go through what I went through. But what you went through made you who you are.
Mm.
And you want to shelter your kids where they ain't got to go through this. Well, then that means they ain't gonna live life right. Because you're gonna have your ups and your downs in life. And if you don't let them deal with it, how they gonna deal with it when they move out your door?
Mm.
Or if they ever move out your door, because Robert Jr. look like he gonna be in that bedroom for a long damn time.
Oh my God, Bernice, as always, you make me laugh. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Guys, we have over 200 people watching. Be sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're going to take a couple more callers, and I'm going to call it a wrap because I have a couple of more stories that I need to work on. And I have to, take care of business, y'all. Take care of business. All right, LaChance, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, LaChance? LaChance, you're muted. LaChance, you're muted. I can't hear you. All right, I'm going to drop you down. I'm going to bring up Sasha. Hey, Sasha.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't believe this is real. I really love watching your videos.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this about the episode. I was kind of frustrated by Jen Shah. And I just felt like she was being incredibly narcissistic with Meredith. And I could definitely feel, sorry, I feel a little nervous.
Oh, it's okay.
I could definitely feel Meredith. I'm gonna light. I could feel Meredith's tension going into the meeting, and I was like, oh my God, I hope she can just keep her composure and not get too upset.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of upset that Meredith wasn't really able to fully keep her composure and I just thought it was like just so frustrating how Jen, to like every comment Meredith was bringing up, she was like, "Oh no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. There's no way that was me." When it's obvious, like if it's over 30 plus tweets, like obviously Jen, we know that you're like saying these things like not only on Twitter, but like she literally was saying things on like Watch What Happens Live with Andy.
Yep.
So it's just so incredibly frustrating. Also, like this kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Heather, but it kind of annoyed me that she was like prepping Jen a little bit for the fight and being like, "Let me put some lip gloss on you, like you're gonna win." I was like, "Come on."
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. Her beef with Elisa and Heather. I mean, with Elisa and Meredith. That's what it is. So the side that she's on is not going to be their side, no matter who it
Right.
is.
And it's just so weird after like last week with Heather versus Jen. I'm just like, what's going on? But I just wanted to say that. So yeah.
Sasha, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Kempire.
Have a good night. Bye. All right. Let's try this again. Hey.
Okay.
LaChance.
Hi. Sorry, my mic was. I just have bad reception right now.
That's okay.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I just wanted to quickly say I just feel like maybe Jen Shah should check her behavior next time she goes to a household with, okay, he's not a young child, but he's like a young adult. Kudos to you for being so mature at your age, at 18 and moving out, Kempire. But I just, I think she's deflecting. Brooks wasn't really saying that he didn't say anything about her kitty cat. He was just saying that he was uncomfortable with her behavior.
LaChance, I think we lost you. LaChance, I think we lost you. I know she said she was having bad reception. LaChance, we appreciate you calling in, though, and sharing your opinion. Here are my final thoughts on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm going to wrap this up because, as someone said in the chat, Kempire is probably hungry. Well, I had a little something to eat right before the live, so I wouldn't be as hungry. But oh yeah, LaChance, no problem, LaChance. We appreciate you calling in, and we were able to get at least most of your points. We appreciate you guys calling in and sharing your thoughts. And shout out to our replay crew. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and how you would rate this episode from 1 to 10, guys. In the live chat, let me know how you would rate this episode. This episode for me was okay. I'm still gonna give it a 7. I thought the episode was solid, but I'm gonna give it a 7. Salt Lake City, I know a lot of people have been on the fence on whether or not they're going to watch it or get into it. I think we are waiting for the whole Jen Shah drama to unfold, but we shall see. That's not going to be the only thing to entertain me, because especially if the ladies aren't, calling her out for her behavior. But we shall see. We shall see. Logan says, honestly, I would be scared seeing one of my mom's friends, kitty cat, upon meeting her. Well, that wasn't his first time meeting her, but even regardless, regardless of that, I would be uncomfortable with that. And just seeing Jen's behavior, I'm sure there's other things that she says and does that's probably inappropriate to be around, regardless. 5, a 6, a 6. Logan says no, scared. Oh no, scarred. Well, 5. Wow. I mean, maybe I was being generous. Maybe I was being generous by giving it a 7. Maybe I was being generous. Yes. Shout out to the mods. Guys, here again, I'm looking forward to what Jenny is going to be bringing to the season. I hope that we're not going to continue to hear for the rest of the season that her husband wants to have a child. We know it's going to come up again. We do know it's going to come up again. But Homegirl had 9 miscarriages. Butterface, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Again, Lisa Barlow, Meredith, no storylines. I'm bored with you this season. Jen Shah is, she's problematic and narcissistic, but at least she's giving us something. Danny says a 6. The episode was slow. Jennifer says Jen had been over Meredith's house a lot because Coach was traveling before her grinder kicks. Yes, that part. I hope that Jenny's daughters take Jen Shaw's place. Oh, Jenny's daughter takes Jen Shaw's place. Me too. I like Jenny. Jenny is doing very well so far, and this is only episode 3. Julia says Butterface is not okay now. He's horrible. Yeah, I didn't like that, especially now knowing that she had those. First of all, regardless, even if we didn't know she had those miscarriages or a possible health situation, it's her body. It's her body. We got to be consistent with those words. Her body, her choice. So forever, this will forever be a classic moment from Jenny's daughter. This will forever be a classic moment. So much fun to watch. I want to see more of the family. As I said before, I believe because she originally was supposed to be just a friend of, they don't have a lot of footage of her in the beginning, but hopefully we'll get more footage of Jenny throughout the season. This was a decent episode. Mary Cosby was surprisingly funny. I didn't like the pooted part, but there were other moments that Mary Cosby kept my attention. Jenny's family was interesting to watch. Jen Shah, honestly, Jen Shah was boring this episode. Besides her fight with Meredith, Meredith's over-the-top response to Jen Shaw's narcissism, I felt, again, is being put on for cameras because she doesn't have any other storyline. She has no other storyline. Either way, guys, we will be recapping it here again here on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you haven't liked it already, and we will be back next week. We will be back next week, and stay tuned for more videos. I just put out another update in regards to Kelly Price. She just did an exclusive interview last night with TMZ. Find out more about that here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. And again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe because you're getting daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Thank you to my mods. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat, and thank you to everyone that called in. And thank you to everyone that watched. Appreciate you all being here. I will see you guys later. Bye.